Ayo, and what is up, gang? Thank you so much for stopping by Sledgehammer TV tonight for your official SmackDown Live review as we roll on through the final stop en route to this Sunday's Survivor Series, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now on the newest, fastest rising, most must-see WWE-related podcast on YouTube. The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. So let's do it. Yeah.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick Nightmare, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, Blue the Snowball, and we are here tonight to talk about SmackDown Live, coming to us from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it feels so good. It really feels good, like a warm, deliciously comforting blanket of joy to sit here with genuine excitement and actual joy and happiness as I bring to you a review of a WWE show, and that is tonight's SmackDown Live, which by far I think has probably been my favorite SmackDown Live of the entire calendar year. Not just because it is probably the best go-home show that they have put together in quite some time, but because the show was a lot of fun. We had some good wrestling matches. We had one great match with the ladies, a very, very good match for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, although I was perturbed very much, and I use that word perturbed because it's fun to say. And we're going to try to have as much fun as we can tonight, because like I said, SmackDown Live was fun. But I was perturbed at a few things tonight. One being during that wonderful SmackDown Women's Championship match, they had to go to an extended commercial break pretty much right at the kickoff of that match. And God knows what we missed, because these ladies were on their toes tonight, man. They came out and did their bloodlines proud, had a match fitting of the Flairs and the Hearts. It was very, very good. It was the best I've seen Charlotte in the ring since she's been up on the main roster. Natty did a fantastic job. I can't say enough how much I enjoyed that women's match. And we called it. I mean, most of you guys probably seen the writing on the wall. I mean, come on, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. They announced this match out of the blue. And they're trying to fix the tremendously broken Survivor Series card that they gave us just a few short weeks ago, which is now a distant memory. And the WWE has done a fantastic job for once in making a pay-per-view, and especially one of the big four, probably one of the only big four pay-per-views this year that you absolutely have to watch. You've got to see this show on Sunday. We are going to have our preview and predictions for you. We will talk more in depth about all of this coming Friday on that show, because I don't want to spill everything right here and derail this thing, because let's stay on point with SmackDown Live. It started off tonight, right off the bat, they got me excited. Shane McMahon giving his little, pep speech, his little pep rally talk. I mean, the cut back to the SmackDown Live crew, acting all amped up. You could tell it was acted. It wasn't as genuine as it probably could have come off. But it was, again, it was a tremendous bit of fun. Watching Shane McMahon get everybody all hyped up. It got me hyped up. Just based off of what happened on Raw last night with the addition of Triple H to Team Raw and the way Shane was impassionately building up his team and building up his roster and let's get together, everybody put your differences aside and let's be one and be ready because Raw's probably going to retaliate tonight and we are going to go and prove that we're not the B show and all the same stuff that we've been hearing him say, but he said it with such passion and the whole scene was just great and it got me fired up. I'm like, all right, I hope tonight's show is going to follow up with the way they kick things off, and it certainly did with the very next segment as we had Daniel Bryan come back for the first time since we've seen him get destroyed by Kane on Monday Night Raw, and he would pump up the crowd and get everybody excited and bring out the World Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles. And then what would go down is one of the most fun things I have ever seen. And it's an absolutely wonderful side of Daniel Bryan that I wish we could get to see more of. And Daniel Bryan stopped AJ Styles from beginning his promo and said, we here on SmackDown Live, we want to treat our champions the same, if not better, than they do on the Red brand. So would you like to have an advocate? And Daniel Bryan would name himself the advocate to AJ Styles and did one of the most beautiful and passionate promos I have ever seen Daniel Bryan cut. And I firmly believe, and you cannot tell me any differently, I don't care who you are, every word he said to build that match tonight was everything he wanted to say if he was the one getting a chance at Brock Lesnar. His wrestling blood is boiling beneath his veins, and you cannot tell me that that promo was not how he felt, what he would have said about himself. AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, very, very close as far as wrestling styles and stature and speed and wrestling acumen. They're almost one and the same. So he sees himself in AJ Styles going up against the Beast as much as it's killing him that it's not him. And that came out tonight. That came out tonight in everything that Daniel Bryan said. The best thing he said was not the fact that he called out Brock Lesnar for being a quitter and called him out for tapping out to a cheap-ass leg lock, or knee bar, rather, but the fact of just the way he delivered his promo. It was definitely on par and could rival one of Paul Heyman's best promos, which we definitely saw last night, and it did its job. It did its job. It made me feel like this match is bigger than wrestling. It definitely could be. It's going down at the Survivor Series. AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. We will talk in depth about what we think is going to happen in this match, what we want to see happen, and more this Friday, so we're not going to get too much into that. But it's going to be great. I do not see them building this match up this much within the last 2 weeks and then letting it fizzle out and be nothing. However, they have proven me wrong in the past. Let's just hope that that is not the case. I hope that if they don't let Daniel Bryan back in the ring, they should at least transition him into a manager sort of role. He would be fantastic. Just based off of what I've seen tonight, Daniel Bryan has got it. We've always known that. So you put him in a situation like that, and he tore the house down, and I couldn't have been more amped up than I was when Daniel Bryan delivered that promo. And then AJ Styles would follow up with a little ditty of his own because, he says, hey, I can talk for myself because, I'm not Brock Lesnar. I don't need a mouthpiece. And then would continue to go on and run down Brock Lesnar a little bit and tell him that he's going to go one-on-one with the phenomenal AJ Styles. And AJ Styles does not quit. And AJ Styles will push him to his limit. And AJ Styles is going to be a name that Brock Lesnar will not soon forget. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We would kick off, as far as matches go, with the United States Championship. And I was not looking forward to this match, as I have been very cynical in everything going into this match. Because Baron Corbin, that's all you have to say. Baron Corbin, we all know what he's been like all year long, right? And you put him against Sin Cara, which is a match that we've seen a bunch of times already, and you just weren't excited for it. I wasn't excited for it, and my biggest fear was that they were going to pull the trigger and give this belt back to Sin Cara just so that it wouldn't be a heel versus heel match, as that was very heavily the theme of the original Survivor Series card. But they did not do that, and Baron Corbin would come out with a win with a beautiful end of days to take out Sin Cara in a very decent match. Probably one of the better matches that these guys had. I feel like maybe everybody was just amped up. Maybe the guys on the roster are getting excited for performing at Survivor Series. Something had to have made everybody turn the corner and start amping things up, because everybody's performance tonight, everybody, was absolutely top-notch. Right down to to Baron Corbin and Sin Cara, all the way to Chad Gable going one-on-one with Jimmy Uso, which was a good match. A great singles match. I think they made it a singles match mainly because Jey Uso has got to still be injured. Well, maybe not injured to the point where he won't be able to perform on Sunday, but he took a vicious chop block last week where I definitely thought that this match might not even be happening. But with what we saw tonight, that is definitely not the case, and these two guys put on a hell of a match. Jimmy Uso would go on to defeat Chad Gable in another very solid match. We had, like I said, the Women's Championship match, which definitely was the show stealer match of the night. As far as matchups were concerned, everything else is all about what happened at the end, as the New Day would go on against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, obviously, they're not going anywhere based off of what happened on the UK tour. They were on the main event match tonight, so everybody calm down. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn got in a little bit of trouble. They rubbed some people the wrong way over there in Europe, and they were sent home. That was their punishment, and now we resume our regularly scheduled programming. And this match, again, was a solid match. We had a lot of great stuff go on here, but this match would end up being something that I did not think we were going to see. Even though they said it a bunch of times tonight, Daniel Bryan alluded to it, that Raw was going to retaliate. SmackDown claimed that they were going to be ready for this. But in the middle of this matchup, the Shield's music would hit, and they would make their way to the ring, and the chaos would begin. Now, I know for the last few weeks we have complained about the shows ending in complete chaos, but being that this is the last stop on the road to Survivor Series and that they need to build as much as they can, I was very accepting of this. This is Raw's vengeance. This is Raw's revenge for that preempted attack that SmackDown pulled on Raw a couple of weeks ago. And this was much, much better than that. For some reason, this invasion just seemed to feel more real. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we knew it was coming. Where on the other hand, it took us by surprise and it just didn't make sense. Whereas in this place and at this time, it definitely makes a whole lot of sense for things to have gone down the way they did. And you can't tell me that the show ending tonight the way it did, the way Braun Strowman would come out to thunderous applause and start raining terror down on the SmackDown Live roster. The only thing I was a little disappointed with in this whole segment, and follow me here now, I don't know if I just missed some people or if the cameraman missed some people. I remember seeing the Ascension. I don't remember seeing Fandango or Tyler Breeze or some of the other guys on the SmackDown Live roster, like Baron Corbin. I don't remember being out there. Maybe it was just me. I don't remember seeing Sin Cara out there. Not that he would tip the scales in any way, but most notably absent was the 16-time world champion John Cena and Randy Orton. Nowhere to be found. Rusev. Did anybody see Rusev? Because I don't remember seeing Rusev. I even went back a second time, and I did not see Rusev there. So, where was the rest of the SmackDown Live roster? Where was AJ Styles? He was not there to try to fend off this incoming raid just because Brock Lesnar's not around? Doesn't make sense. Daniel Bryan, we already knew, left because Shane McMahon tries to apologize to the guy earlier on in the show, and Daniel Bryan's like, listen, save it. I'll see you on Sunday. Doesn't matter. Whatever happens tonight is on you, bro. And this is something very, very big that's going to be weighing on his shoulders, and does leave one last question for me, which we'll get to in a minute. But the way that the Shield and Team Raw would absolutely decimate Shane McMahon in particular. 2 triple power bombs by the Shield. An Angle slam by Kurt Angle. That's a lot for any man to endure. When Shane McMahon and the SmackDown Live roster, or lack thereof roster, came running down the ramp, Shane McMahon running like a scalded dog, man. He looked like he was going to trip on his own feet. He was running so intense. Then he hits the ring and just starts flailing around at everybody. But in the end, it would be for nothing, because Shane McMahon would bear the brunt of the abuse. He would be taken from rope to rope by the Shield to witness the damage at his hands. All of this is your fault. Samoa Joe got in his face. This is because of you. Kurt Angle, how do you like it, Shane? And this is nothing. Wait until Sunday. How much worse could it get than what we've seen tonight? Well, it could get extremely worse, because on Sunday, Raw will have the game with them. This is what Raw can do without Triple H. Without Triple H, they essentially annihilated the entire brand of SmackDown. Almost 10 times more powerful and more destructive than what happened when SmackDown tried to do the same to Raw. This was way bigger. The entire women's division bum-rushed the locker room and took out Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss gave her a right hand that I felt sitting on my couch. My God, the chaos that went down. And it felt great. Do you know why? Because it made sense. And it's building towards a much, much better Survivor Series card that I simply cannot wait to get to. I'm so excited for this show now. I can't wait to do the preview and prediction show. I'm usually dreading having to do that because there's some aspect of every show that they've put on this year that I've just not been happy with. And there's not really one match that I have a solid complaint about. The Miz and Baron Corbin have done a solid job on social media alone, making me interested in seeing them get into the ring, regardless of how the WWE did not build this feud between the two of them on television. I'm very invested in that. The Women's Championship match now makes me so much more intrigued. I am way more invested seeing an athlete the caliber of Charlotte going up against Alexa Bliss in this championship exhibition. Not to take anything away from Natty. Like I said tonight, she was fantastic in the ring. She definitely showed why she's still around, why she's part of the main roster. She can wrestle and put these girls over the way they deserve to be put over. I wish Charlotte Flair's whole entire run on Raw did not happen, because this moment tonight for her was that big. It felt bigger than every other title she's won, even when she won the first time. This felt bigger. I don't know if it was because it was in Charlotte. Maybe it's because we all felt it coming, because maybe she does actually deserve it in this case. There's nobody really better on the SmackDown ladies' side than Charlotte Flair, regardless of her promo ability, which is getting better. But what made it even better than that was the WWE showing that every once in a while they do have a little bit of class, and they can do some feel-good stuff. And they genuinely surprised Charlotte Flair with the Nature Boy Ric Flair coming out as she was exiting the ramp as the new champion. First time on SmackDown Live. Fantastic. It definitely is hard for me because Ric Flair and he doesn't know this. I will get to tell him this, maybe, if they give me enough time, at House of Glory's 7, which is coming up December the 16th. Make sure you get your tickets at houseofglorywrestling.net right now. If you live in the New York City area, you want to come down and meet the Nate with me. And I'm going to get to tell him that we have a very special relationship, he and I. He's just always been my absolute favorite guy. I've always wanted to be... Who hasn't? Who wouldn't want to be Ric Flair? Limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing. You know the way it goes. It's emblazoned in the back of our brain. If you're a fan of the Horseman and Flair, you know what I'm talking about. And him having his daughter follow in his footsteps, it's just tough for a dad who actually has a daughter of his own. Like, if that was me, man, and my daughter was the world heavyweight champion. I mean, I'm not even a wrestler. I'm just a crazy wrestling fan. Imagine that's what I did. You know, what if this podcast takes over the world, right? And it becomes the #1 wrestling show in the world, which is definitely what I would like to try to do. It's not beyond the realm of possibility for that to happen. Everybody's got to start somewhere. Maybe this is just my beginning and I take over the world. And then my daughter one day goes on to do the same thing just because it's what Dad did. You know what I mean? And she loves what I did, and she has the same passion and the same desire to talk about wrestling. It would be an amazing thing. And I can't imagine what that even feels like. And I feel for him as a dad. I always used to just feel for him anyway. Ric Flair is known for crying. And this man used to make me cry. If Ric Flair cries, I cry. It just happens. I don't like seeing him cry, I guess. There's just something about it. It tugs at my heartstrings. I definitely shed a tear tonight watching them hug. He looked a little skinny, obviously, after everything he's going through. He looks a little bit more aged than he ever has before. But that has nothing to do with the fact that, thank God, he's still okay. And he walked out there tonight on his own power, and he hugged his daughter, congratulating her for doing what she did tonight in their hometown of Charlotte. It's an absolutely special moment. She's never going to forget it. I'm never going to forget it. I'm never going to forget it. It was a great, great night for her. Great night for me. Great night for SmackDown Live. Great, great night. And it just feels so good, like we said at the top of this broadcast, to talk about this stuff and not have to get angry and not have to curse and not have to be so negative, which we generally are. You know, we nitpicked a little bit here, but it is what it is. This was a great show. I'm so looking forward to Survivor Series. I cannot wait to talk about it more with you guys this weekend on Friday. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled to Sledgehammer TV, because Friday we are going to have your official preview and prediction show for this upcoming Survivor Series Sunday, which is going to be off the charts. We're going to talk also about the big NXT TakeOver War Games going down Saturday night at 8 p.m. on the WWE Network. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see the War Games again. It's been a long, long time, and we have 9 of the best NXT has to offer going inside that double cage, double ring, absolute mayhem structure of pain known as the War Games. It's going to be a great, great weekend for wrestling. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled also for any breaking news. As always, we are going to bring it to you. We had lots of stuff going down all weekend long. The weekend wrestling update was absolutely crazy. First time we ever had 3 parts. Go check them all out right now. Daniel Bryan talking about coming back to the ring. We had the Roman Reigns situation, the Kevin Owens situation. We talked about everything. We also talked about Jericho and his challenges with Kenny Omega in New Japan. We talk about Emma and how crazy she is and what she thinks she's worth on the independent scene. We got our top 10 things wrong with 2K18 and so much more wrestling content on this channel. Make sure you check it out. And when you check that out, as you are going to do right now, make sure you smash that thumbs up for me if you enjoyed today's show and you enjoyed the channel. The most important thing you can do, if you have not joined the club already and you are not part of the family here at the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what you're waiting for. If you made it through this far, you enjoyed me, you're going to come back for more, subscribe, become part of the movement. You will be very, very greatly appreciated, just as it will be greatly appreciated if you go check out Clutch Chairs and some of their great WWE-related merchandise. They have some sick-looking WWE chairs, which are very, very good for your back. Helps realign your spine while you're playing your best at Call of Duty or 2K18 or whatever it is you guys are playing right now. I'm getting ready to go play some Fractured Butthole. I'm going to do that and try to detox a little bit from some wrestling right now before we have NXT tomorrow night. Not going to do a review on that. We're not doing NXT stuff. The numbers just ain't there. It's not worth it. But we will eventually, hopefully, do that. We will have NXT previews with the Survivor Series preview. We're going to bundle it up all in one nice little package for you guys to kick off your pay-per-view weekend right here on Sledgehammer TV. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my boy, the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, Blue to Snowball. And we want to thank you for being here once again. That is going to do it. And we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. We will see you guys Friday. Preview and predictions. Love you guys. Have a good night.